Earl Rusty Powell. Photo. The National Gallery of Art. The National Gallery of Art in Washington, D.C., has announced that director Earl Rusty Powell will retire in 2019 after more than 25 years at the museum. Powell is the institution's longest-serving director, and is only the fourth director to lead the museum in its 76-year history. Under Powell's leadership, the National Gallery expanded both its west and east buildings, added the sculpture garden, grew its permanent collection, successfully completed numerous fundraising campaigns, and increased its public education initiatives. Thanks to the trustees of the National Gallery of Art, I have been privileged to helm a period of extraordinary growth, Powell said. For several years I had the honor of working closely with Paul Mellon, whose unparalleled contributions to the gallery and the nation's cultural life live on in infinite ways. I also wish to acknowledge with gratitude all of the gallery's trustees past and present, and to express my profound appreciation for the service of the gallery's presidents with whom I am honored to have worked closely: Bob Smith, Vicky Son, and now Rick Beinecke. Their leadership, support, and friendship have made my years as director a true pleasure. Commemorating the Russian Revolution, 19,172,017, on view at the Jane Voorhees Zimmerli Art Museum, Rutgers University, New Brunswick, from October 14, 2017, to February 18, 2018. Photo. Peter Jacobs. Courtesy Zimmerli Art Museum. Jane Voorhees Zimmerli Art Museum at Rutgers University in New Jersey announced today that it has received a donation of 17,300 works of Soviet nonconformist art, the largest single gift in its history. The collection is valued at $34 million. Donated by Nancy Royal and Norton Dodge, the works are by more than 1,000 artists and date from 1956, the same year that Nikita Khrushchev gave a secret speech to the 20th Party Congress, denouncing Stalinism and initiating a cultural thaw, through 1991, the end of the Mikhail Gorbachev era. The gift makes the museum the world's principal site for studying and exhibiting the most vital, diverse, and daring strains of art produced throughout the USSR over 4 decades. Thomas Sokolovsky, director of the Zimmerli, and Nevin Kessler, president of the Rutgers University Foundation, said in a statement. These works join 4,000 other Soviet nonconformist works that Nancy Royal Dodge and her late husband gave to the institution in 1991. My husband Norton and I felt it was our mission to bring to light these remarkable works that had been consigned to obscurity, and to honor artists of exceptional talent who had been suppressed and defamed, Nancy Royal Dodge said. We entrusted Rutgers with an initial gift from the collection because we believed the university deeply understood our goals and had both the scholarly resources and the institutional will to realize our purpose. Now, more than a quarter of a century later, I know our confidence was well placed. I am very pleased to donate the collection in its entirety to Rutgers, as the best and only place for it to reside. More. In addition to the works, the museum also received an endowment of $10 million from the Avenir Foundation. This is the second endowment gift to the Zimmerli from the foundation. A selection of the Dodge's holdings is currently on view in the museum's exhibition commemorating the Russian Revolution, 19,172,017, which will run through February 18, 2018. Les Chabalala Self-Bodega Run, 2015. The Studio Museum in Harlem announced today that Allison Janae Hamilton, Chabalala Self, and Sable Elise Smith will be its 2018 artists in residence. Since the institution is planning to close next year in order to break ground on its new home. Designed by Ad.J. Associates, the artists will work from studios located in a street-level space at 429 West 127th Street. Our Artist in Residence program has been at the heart of this institution's mission since our founding in 1968, Director and Chief Curator Thelma Golden said. It is the embodiment of our commitment to supporting emerging artists of African descent, and is at the center of our work to bring artists together with the Harlem community. I am thrilled that Allison, Chabalala, and Sable, 3 outstanding artists, each of whom has already developed her own distinctive practice, will be with us during our anniversary year, at the beginning of an exciting transition. Former artists in residence include David Hammonds, Kerry James Marshall, Julie Meritu, and Kahind Wiley. Works by Hamilton and Smith are currently on view at the museum in the exhibition Fictions, which highlights the use of narrative in works by artists of African descent. Self's work was recently showcased in the Studio Museum show A Constellation 2015-16. Louise and John Bryson at the Mogo Grottos, the site of a Getty Conservation Institute project. In 2008, the J. Paul Getty Trust announced today that it has been gifted $5 million from philanthropists John E. Bryson and Louise Henry Bryson. The monies will be used to establish a newly endowed fund supporting the work of the Getty Conservation Institute. As the former chair of the Getty Board of Trustees and a founding member of the GCI Council, Louise Bryson knows firsthand the critical work that the GCI undertakes to advance the field of cultural heritage conservation, said Maria Hummertettel, the current chair of the Getty's Board of Trustees. Getty President and CEO James Cuno added that we simply can't do everything we'd like to do without significant gifts like this one from the Brysons. Louise Bryson has had a 34-year career in the media industry, serving as President of Distribution for Lifetime Television, Executive Vice President and General Manager of Lifetime Movies, and Senior Vice President at FX Networks. John Bryson has served as the U.S. Commerce Secretary under former President Barack Obama and was a member of the United Nations Secretary-General's Advisory Group on Energy and Climate Change. Earlier in his career, he helped found the Natural Resources Defense Council and led Edison International for nearly 20 years. John and I are deeply committed to the mission of the Getty, and passionate about the work of the Getty Conservation Institute in particular, said Louise Bryson. We are pleased to make this gift to allow the GCI to pursue its conservation work in a world where cultural heritage is increasingly at risk. Les Dieter Rollstrate. Photo Francisca Gilla Dieter Rollstrate has been named the next curator of the University of Chicago's Neubauer Collegium for Culture and Society, which explores new ways to approach complex questions through faculty research projects, a global fellowship program, and exhibitions. He will take up the post on November 10. Prior to joining the institution, Rollstrate served on the curatorial team that organized Documenta 14. Dieter is one of the most creative and thoughtful curators at work today, said Jonathan Lear, the director of the Neubauer Collegium. His work exemplifies how artistic expression and humanistic research can meld together and support each other. I am looking forward to working with him, and I am eager to see how he'll make use of the freedom our gallery affords. Rollstrate has previously worked as senior curator at the Museum of Contemporary Art Chicago from 2012 to 2015. During his tenure, Rollstrate organized a number of exhibitions including The Way of the Shovel Art as Archaeology 2015, The Freedom Principle Experiments in Art and Music 1965 to now 2015, and Kerry James Marshall Mastery 2016. From 2003 to 2011, Rollstrate was a curator at the Museum van Hedendaagskunst Antwerpen, more after spending 3 years working on what is effectively the largest art exhibition in the world, a hugely complex and impossibly expansive affair. I am excited to start working in a much more concentrated, in-depth fashion, Rollstrate said. Curating in a beautiful, humanly sized space at the University of Chicago will both allow and require that. I am a long-standing advocate for the idea of art as a form of research and knowledge production, and I cannot think of a more welcoming home to further develop these intuitions in concert with the great minds that people the wilds of Hyde Park. Les Benjamin Ginocchio has been removed from his post as director of the Armory Show over allegations of sexual harassment that were reported earlier today in the New York Times. The allegations stem from his time as the editor of ArtNet News in 2015. Nate Freeman of Art News writes that a statement from the Armory's communications department has been released. It reads, "The Armory Show seeks to maintain a respectful workplace and prohibits harassment or discrimination of any kind." After allegations were made against Mr. Ginocchio in the spring of 2017, we immediately followed our procedures and initiated an investigation using outside counsel. We concluded that Mr. Ginocchio's conduct did not rise to the level of sexual harassment. We have only recently learned of the allegations related to Mr. Ginocchio's previous employment. At this time, Deputy Director Nicole Berry has assumed the role of Executive Director of the Armory Show. Nicole and the entire Armory team are committed to producing a very successful fair in March 2018. Hugger, Ecce Homo Erectus 2017. Photo Hungry anonymous artist Jorge was arrested and charged with public offense to religion for putting up satirical posters at various bus stops throughout Rome, Italy during the summer, Christine Rowe of Hyperallergic reports. The artist may be fined up to $5,800 and may face a maximum of 2 years in prison if he is found guilty of the crime. Among the offending posters are Jorge's Ecce Homo Erectus, which features an image of Jesus with an erection as he stands next to and lays his hand on the head of a kneeling child, and his collaborator Double Y's Immaculate Conception in Vitro, which depicts 2 women holding a baby while one of them flips off the viewer. Double Y has not been identified. Jorge, who prefers the term subvertiser to artist, created the poster in response to the recent sexual abuse allegations against Cardinal Pell. As the third highest-ranking Vatican official, Pell is the most senior representative of the Catholic Church to be accused of sexual misconduct. He denies any wrongdoing. More, while organizations such as Italy's Union of Rationalist Atheists and Agnostics are campaigning to abolish Italy's blasphemy laws, they are still being sporadically enforced. According to Jorge, the police were urged to take action by right-wing politician Fabrizio Guerra, who called for the transportation official in charge of advertising to step down shortly after the posters appeared. Less Creative Capital, the New York-based nonprofit that supports artists experimenting in their fields through funding, counsel and career development services, and free programming, has announced today that Jane Brown, Michelle Coffey, Hassan Elahi, Bill Folks, and Penny Lane have joined its board of directors. These new members bring to the organization their relentless and visionary advocacy for artists, a deep commitment to the intersection of art and social justice, and a shared vision of the importance of investing in artists as catalysts for change, said Susie Delval, Creative Capital President and Executive Director. The organization's board of directors now has a total of 24 members. As president of the Robert W. Deutsch Foundation, Brown has created the Ruby's Artist Grants program in support of local arts startups. She also established the Baltimore Arts Realty Corporation to develop 60,000 square feet of space for the arts in the city. Coffey serves as executive director to the Lambin Foundation. Previously, she was the director of the Starry Night Fund and senior philanthropic advisor at the Tides Foundation. Elahi is an artist who often focuses on issues of surveillance, privacy, migration, citizen, technology, and the challenges of borders in his works. He is also currently an associate professor of art at the University of Maryland. Folks is a strategic planning and marketing consultant, entrepreneur, and a faculty member at the Rhode Island School of Design. Lane is a director whose film Nuts won the Special Jury Prize at the 2016 Sundance Film Festival. She also writes regularly for Filmmaker magazine, was recently admitted into the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. Robert Rauschenberg Narcissus ROCIUSA Wax Fireworks, 1990. The Bastian family, Berlin-based collectors and gallerists, has donated its significant collection of artworks to the public collections of the southeastern German city of Chemnitz, Monopol reports. The gift includes more than 200 paintings, drawings, watercolors, collages, prints, installations, and photographs by artists such as Joseph Beuys, David R. L. Jones, Pablo Picasso, Robert Rauschenberg, Gerhard Richter, Luke Timons, Cy Twombly, Andy Warhol, and Wim Wenders. Dealer Heiner Bostian, a former assistant to Joseph Beuys, first collaborated with the Chemnitz art collections on the 2002 exhibition Picasso at Les Femmes, and he has continued to assist the museum with securing loans ever since. The Bastian family's collection will be on view in the exhibition Homage Ingrid M. Singer, opening November 12. Murat's donation is a stroke of luck, the museum's director, Ingrid M. Sissing, told the German press agency. She added that many artists who were previously not part of the collection will now be included. With this donation, renowned collector Heiner Bostian, his wife Celine, and his son Aeneas honor the museum, their own work, and the city of Chemnitz. Lisa Lefevre. Photo Claudine Hartzell. The newly formed Holt-Smithson Foundation has announced the appointment of Lisa Lefevre as its first executive director. Through public service, the foundation will strive to increase awareness of artists Nancy Holt and Robert Smithson's creative legacies. Lisa Lefevre brings the perfect combination of scholarship and experience, and a passion for creative inquiry that is consistent with the spirit of Holt and Smithson, said board president Matthew Coolidge, the founder of the Center for Land Use Development in Los Angeles. Lefevre joins the foundation from the Henry Moore Institute in the United Kingdom, the research arm of the Henry Moore Foundation, where she has served as head of sculpture studies since 2010. She has previously held curatorial roles at London's National Maritime Museum, the Serpentine Gallery, and Tate Britain. She is currently a member of the 2018 Turner Prize Selection Committee and is a non-executive director of Book Works, Murat Foundation's endowment draws from both Holt and Smithson's estates. Currently based in Santa Fe, New Mexico, the organization aims to honor the artists' methods of exploring mankind's relationship to the planet. Both Holt and Smithson produced numerous works, large-scale environmental works. Holt is perhaps best known for her Sun Tunnels, 1973-76, in the Great Basin Desert, Utah, and Dark Star Park, 1970-84, in Arlington County, Virginia. Smithson's well known earthworks include his Spiral Jetty, 1970, in Great Salt Lake, Utah, which was recently made a state landmark, Broken Circle Spiral Hill, 1971, in Emmen, the Netherlands, and Amarillo Ramp, 1973, in Amarillo, Texas. Les.